What's up, Patreons? Tell you a quick story about Antoine. See, Antoine was different. Antoine was a visionary. He saw things before they happened. He was very intelligent as far as being a genius when it came to the structure of like aerodynamics. His thing was if it's on paper, anything with objects, geometry, algebra, calculus, he'll knock it out the park. Antoine's problem was he could see things before they happen, but he couldn't read people. And when I mean see things before they happen, I mean from a technical standpoint. Like if he's looking at the stock market, if he's looking at anything electronical or the internet or something moving mechanical in an automobile or that type of things. He could see that before it happens. But he didn't understand people. And he knew he didn't understand people. So because he knew he couldn't understand people, what he would do was have other people that knew how to understand people talk for him. So this is why Antoine wanted to work with me. He's like, man, you got a gift. Like you say it and people they just come and listen to you. It's like unbelievable. So they get very motivated when they see or hear anything from Antoine talking, like me talking up Antoine. They like most people don't, because he's kind of aloof when it comes to people because he's, no social skills really. So I'm really the selling point. Now, there's a tech convention that's going on in 2003. We're at this tech convention and they're talking about this pen. Oh, this pen is amazing. And what this pen is able to do is record entire meetings, right? It can record an entire interview at this convention, right? This one ink pen. It's like this thing can record for hours. Imagine having a meeting and you just have your pen on and you can record with this pen and it'll store up to this many hours and you don't have to charge it. It only takes a AAA battery and you're good. And I said, that's not the play. Let's not go for that one. He's like, oh, I've already partnered with them because I want to work on a patent deal with them. I want to know who's got the patent because I was like, no, that's going to be a government acquired, position. That's something they could use in spying and whatever. And the government will come in and take that and then you'll end up with nothing. The government will say, hey, that's something we could use for the government. And then they'll come and G it from you. And you don't want that. So I said, let's look into something else. Wasn't trying to hear it. He was very upset that I told him about going in that route, like we should do it this way. He didn't like the fact that I worded it like this is his domain. My thing is reading people. But the business deal, that's his area of expertise. He knows tech. So I said, fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Well, he says, well, it's not like that. Come on. I'll put up my money. We're putting up the money and all this. And, I'm putting up the money. So, this is where I want to go. And I said, okay, that's fine. We'll do with this. But I'm like, I want to look around. Isn't that fair? That we look around? Oh, yeah, I'm just saying. I was like, all right, well, let's continue to look around. So, as we're looking around, and no one's at this one table. I swear, like, nobody's there. They're sitting there with a brochure, and they're just sitting on the side. And I was like, what is this? So I come over there, no one's there. And he's like, I don't even know what this is. I was like, that's why I asked them. I said, what is this? And he was like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, yeah, do you have a company or something? And I'm like, yeah, we got a little business. There's only like the two of us. Well, he said, oh, well, you might not be interested in this. I said, well, what is this? He said, well, what this is basically a virtual operator, like for your it's like a virtual secretary for your office, for your plans. Like if it gives you a phone line, people can call it, and you could leave a voicemail or messages, or they could leave notes, everything. It's just like a virtual. So you get your own private number, and it's like a personal secretary. She answers these questions. It's all automated here. We have an example of it, and they played it, and he's like, yeah, that's basically it. And it's quite affordable. It's doing this and that. And I said, and it could do all of this. I'm like, why isn't this in play? He said, I'm like, why didn't, like, you guys got a patent license to this? Or could anybody just do this? I need to know if there's a patent. They had a patent that no one in the country and outside of the country can even make anything parable to it. And here it is with a full patent for electronical device for secretaries out of all the business and corporations in the world. In 2003, they had this deal on the table. And everybody wanted it once they figured it out. I said, I got to get in on this. This is what we should go with. Right here. And he agreed. Antoine was like, yeah, I think this is better than that pen. That was a good call. So while we finna go through the pen, right, and go through the situation with the whole pen and all this, Antoine turns around and goes, you know what? That pen thing is dead. We should move all our money. Forget the pen altogether. All our money should go towards that virtual assistant. I said, yeah, that's gonna be key. Man, so many applications on that. We're gonna make so much money per year just off being a partner with them. This is the future. Because I know just the corporations that want it. And sure enough, I'm sitting there talking to one of the CEOs of Cisco for their phone system. And we're having a great conversation about having a sit down, having a meeting. I talked to that guy to get permission to talk to Cisco about his product and everything. And he was like, man, yeah, we can all sit down at a table. It'll all be great. All of this is coming to. And come to find out, this idiot moved all the money to the pen. Behind my back. Moved all the money there. But he had put up the money. But told me not to put any money into the phones because he was going to put it into this pen. Right? Needless to say, the patent that they had for the pen wasn't even the patent that they thought that they needed. The paperwork wasn't clear on what they owned from the patent. It was only a part of the patent, one feature on the pen that they owned a patent for, but it could be bootlegged by anybody else, and pretty much was. Everybody who had a recording device. I'm like, this is just the wrong business to get in. It's not a unique enough, it's more of a novelty. But I saw it as that. This is a real application that can make like millions. Like I don't understand. But because somebody see things like too technical and they don't have vision and they're not, I told them, I know people. I knew it by looking at them. They didn't really understood what they had. I knew what they had, and I could have helped them in this deal with Cisco. Now, here's the situation with him. Now that he screwed me, they think I'm shady with the money, when really my partner is the one that screwed it up. But now, since he's my partner in this thing, he screwed up everything. Now the trust factor is off, because here I am telling them to trust me and Antoine, and now Antoine can't be trusted. So now how could they trust me? So they eventually saying, the guy said he was going to have the money. Now the money's not here. And then I'm like, look, I'll put my money in, but I don't have enough to cover it. And I would have had enough had this idiot not said he had it already. And that was the last time I done business with Antoine. Then Antoine saw a deal of ours work. And that's when he got all upset, because he thought like, yo, we partners. No, bro, this is my idea, my money, my everything. You went in on the pen. Oh, I took you with me on the pen. No, you didn't. You went behind my back on the pen and just said, this is my money, my deal anyway. You went and did that deal with the pen. But since the deal didn't work, or no money came out of it, I went along with the ride. No. Oh, I would have took care of you. You would have got your percentage and everything. You did that and didn't even tell me. And you went behind my back. Then after telling me you was going to go ahead with this deal, the virtual assistant was purchased by, I don't think Cisco, another company bought it and came in with them with the patent. I think they got 87 million the first 2 years with that. Then it was in like, I want to say 300,000 offices. People still use that to this day in the business practice world. That virtual assistance is everywhere now, even though it's digital. You can get it and put it on your phone and everything. Everyone has that number and goes right to your virtual assistant. They created it, and now it's making tens of millions of dollars a year, if not hundreds. And they own a patent to it, so they get paid off every little bit of anybody who tries to mimic it or whatever, or what have you. Multi-million-dollar deals down the drain because people with no vision or small visions. So that's some news for you Patreons. Sometimes you gotta watch those people, even though they got these Ivy League degrees and all these technical licenses and MBAs. That stuff is to try to impress other people. It doesn't mean that those people understand people. They just don't have the it factor. And I'm like, I'm not as smart as you. I don't have all the words as you. But what I do have is a very strong, keen common sense of knowing people. And I know if this is something we should do or we shouldn't do. And I know it's very unwise not to take outside information. Listen to it. One thing I've always learned, listen to something. Just because somebody might be an idiot, or they might be poor, or they might say something that they don't even know they said, or what it means to anything. But that one thing they said could actually be some importance to you. You might pick something up from somewhere else or somebody else who had nothing to do with anything. And that one thing could be key to saving you millions or making you millions. And it might not even be millions, just might be something to save your life, might be something to advance you, anything. But you want to be prepared at all times. Being an angel investor, it's cool at times. And sitting here brokering deals. I've already showed you a lot of the deals we were working on, a lot of the presentation packages, everything, man. We put a lot of work in over the years. For everyone who thinks everything I got came from YouTube, you know, there was a life before YouTube, buddy. I'm like, man, if I didn't lose anything, we didn't have the home crisis of 2008, gosh, I would be multi by now. I had to sell stock positions. I had to sell my stock options and things to get revenue because the housing market was closed, so they was canceling all these jobs, and basically our job was eliminated due to budget cuts and everything else. So they was looking to cut anybody that was getting ready to go on salary. It was terrible. So anyway, I'm going to say God bless you. Thank you guys for being members to the Patreon. And I want to say, if you're not on the Patreon, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know how you seeing this video. I might have turned it live on YouTube. If I did, it's been a long time since y'all seeing it from when we recorded it, because I made this directly for y'all Patreons. So I'm out. God bless.